It's not even about Peter Obi's proposal. My greatest fear for Peter Obi is that which major political party will hand over its ticket to him. Because the greatest fear is that Peter Obi, going into ADC, for example, can he stand an Atiku Abubakar at the primaries or a Rotimi Amechi at the primaries? Because Peter Obi has not really, if you look at his political trajectory, he has never stood at any major political primary and won that primary. In 2022, it was supposed to be his major test of national baptism in a major political party, but he left the PDP. The other times he was just as governor in 2003, and of course, you know what happened with Ngige and all of that, and he came and he got renewable time. So 2022 was supposed to be his major test, but he left PDP, went to the Labour Party, and of course, you know what happened, and the ticket was handed over to him. Now, if a bigger political party, he wants to represent that big political party, he would have to face the bigger guys.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's interview with Sumner Sambo on AriseTV is one of the most important conversations Nigeria needs to hear right now. He didn't just speak, he broke everything down from Peter Obi movement to the real reason why 2027 might not go the way Obidient are expecting. Sambo made it clear Peter Obi has the support, the movement is strong, the people are ready, and everyone wants to see him on that seat. But here's the real issue. The toughest part is what's happening behind the scene. And this interview explains everything you need to know. He spoke about the proposed 4 years or one time Peter Obi is offering. That one idea alone is shaking the entire political space. The coalition behind Peter Obi is only willing to support someone who is ready to step down after just 4 years. Why? Because anyone who enters that seat gains full power, and once that power is in their hands, it becomes nearly impossible to control them again. And if Peter Obi doesn't win the primaries, everything may scatter. Sambo pointed out something critical. Obi is contesting against very powerful figure. If he doesn't clinch the ticket, all the hope Obidient have built up might fall apart completely. Now here's where APC is getting their strength from. They already know this and they are banking on it. They understand that if Peter Obi doesn't emerge as the candidate, his supporters are unlikely to back whoever else win. And that right there gives Tinubu an edge going into 2027. Sambo also touched the option of Obi switching to another party. But let's be honest, even if Peter Obi does that, Atiku will not step aside, and that move could backfire, especially in the north, where Atiku still owes a lot of ground. This interview opened a lot of ICs. It's no longer just about who we like or who we tweet for. It's about understanding the strategy, the power struggle, and what is truly at stake. So because of a lot of people asking where Obi presently belongs, he's actually working on the right platform to use that will favor him. And that is why you need to watch this video to the end to understand every struggle Obi is passing through right now and everything he's trying to do in order to put everything in place. So you will watch this interview to the end so that you can understand everything about the system. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you are just coming across this channel. Also make sure you like this video and share the video. But most importantly, don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section.
Do you think it is possible in Nigerian politics for anybody who becomes president from any zone to promise, oh, I will serve only one term, and people will believe that person? Because these positions are not held only by persons. They are also held by ethnic groups, geographical zones, and all of that. And all of them will come and say, no, this is our turn. And if Mr. Peter Obi becomes president of Nigeria, do you think Igbos will agree with him to say, oh, I want to do only one term? When the last time they held the #1 position was since the time of Aguiyi Ironsi.
Very interesting proposition by Mr. Peter Obi there. And then, of course, your question is very, very apt. There's always been this mutual distrust between Nigeria's ethnic groups, especially when it comes to the presidency. But like you have said, if he does come to power, it will be a different ballgame. But don't forget that your former boss, former President Goodluck Jonathan, then as president of Nigeria in 2010-2011, had proposed a single term of 6 years. Having seen how the presidency is being used like a football to be kicked around the 6 geopolitical zones, he has said that, look, if we want this country to move better and for us to achieve this rotational presidency, I think one term of 6 years will be better. And so that's the context from which I'm saying this proposition by the former Labour Party presidential candidate in 2023. And he's putting his integrity at stake. And, you know, it's like advertising. Peter Obi is pitching to the north and pitching to the rest of the country. But what I want to say is that Nigerians should critically take a look at it. They should give it a huge consideration, considering the challenges that we have right now. The Southwest itself, from which President Tinubu comes from, has enjoyed this Fourth Republic more than other component parts of the country. And I think Peter Obi was trying to direct that to other parts of Nigeria to take a critical look at it, because Obasanjo did 8 years. We've had Tinubu now completing one term, which will now make it 12 years by 2027. So if Peter Obi is able to, you know, put his integrity more at stake and reach out to the right stakeholders, he could actually pitch this in a better position that will make it look like the Southeast can conclude that 4 years that's left for southern Nigeria and that he stands a chance. People should hold him by his integrity. Yes, of course, he actually did well in the last presidential election and his integrity is at stake. But the major problem that I have with him is not this pitching that he has brought in place. It's for the fact that he's confusing his followers, his supporters at the moment, because they don't know whether he's in ADC or he's still in Labour Party. And so that in itself, that he does not have a strong political vehicle that they can count on right now, is counting against him compared to this pitch. But this pitch that he has brought is a very, very perfect pitch. It aligns with what then President Goodluck Jonathan has said. And I think rational Nigerians who think politically and want the sustenance of this country should actually consider it, and they can hold the Southeast and Mr. Peter Obi to this one-term proposal. It's a very good proposal, conclude the 4 year of the South. But of course, then you have the biggest elephant in the house, President Bola Tinubu. Can he, if given the opportunity by ADC, for example, defeat a Bola Tinubu who is an incumbent, who has all the appurtenances of power, the coercive apparatus of state to wriggle his way into 2027.
Okay.
Well, it's left for us to
except
see.
that nobody sells ice cream in politics. Bola Tinubu is not going to give ice cream to another person because he wants to be seen as nice. That's not the arena for politics. Vimbai.
Now, beyond the politics of zoning, you know, we also have to look at what's realistic and what's achievable. 4 years, do you think that's enough for anybody to make a real impact in governance of this country? Especially what we've seen with this current president, the fact that reforms take time and they're saying we're turning the tide and so forth. Generally speaking, most people believe that 4 years is not long enough to make an impact. What do you think of this?
Well, I think Nigerians should actually do away with that mentality. Yes, it may not be enough, but if, for example, Peter Obi is coming to build on the reforms already put in place by President Tinubu, all he needs to do is to also introduce other reforms in other places. There's nowhere that is stated that you need 8 years. I mean, the people who framed the Constitution knew that there was going to be a time where presidents could only spend one term. And so if the electorate feel that the presidents, the incumbents have performed, they can renew the term. And if they feel that the incumbents have not performed very well, then the people have the last card to actually kick the president out of office. So the people who put this provision in the Constitution could have as well said it should just be a one term of 8 years. But they said, no, let it be a renewable term. And so if you have someone who is really strong in reforms, who really wants to put the country first, I mean, take for example, former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. He spent less than 4 years in power, about 2 years plus, and we are still talking about him today. The reforms he put in place, that, like for example, the amnesty program in Niger Delta, they are still ongoing. So we need statesmen at this moment. We've had enough of politicians who come to do 8 years and we don't seem to have enough, including those politicians who wanted to extend their tenure from 2 terms of 4 years, like Obasanjo, where we had corporate Nigeria, for example, coming together in 2027, in 2006, 2007, wanting to extend the tenure of Obasanjo. If we want a reformist president, someone who just wants to put the country in good shape and then leave for the right leaders to come into place, I think we can do it. We can hold Peter Obi to his words, or even President Bola Tinubu, if his term is going to be renewed, hold him to some reformist agenda. It's long enough for us to just be giving people terms and compensating them because they have 2 terms or because they are from different regions. Can we try something new, for example, for the first time?
I mean, on this very same topic, we did see at the Arewa Consultative Forum not really speak as hopefully as you've been speaking. They say that this move from Peter Obi is political strategy because, well, I can't speak for them, but perhaps the belief is that if he says that he only wants to do 1 term, then people in the north would be more inclined to back his presidency because there would be a rotation of power back to the north thereafter. What do you think about what the ACF had to say about this promise to only serve 1 term if he is elected come 2027?
Yeah, it's a very good pitch, and the ACF and other component parts of northern Nigeria would want to actually give it a thought. But of course, then comes the question. It's not even about Peter Obi's proposal. My greatest fear for Peter Obi is that which major political party will hand over its ticket to him. Because the greatest fear is that Peter Obi, going into ADC, for example, can he stand an Atiku Abubakar at the primaries or a Rotimi Amechi at the primaries? Because Peter Obi has not really, if you look at his political trajectory, he has never stood at any major political primary and won that primary. In 2022, it was supposed to be his major test of national baptism in a major political party, but he left the PDP. The other times he was just as governor in 2003, and of course, you know what happened with Ngige and all of that, and he came and he got a renewable time. So 2022 was supposed to be his major test, but he left PDP, went to the Labour Party, and of course, you know what happened, and the ticket was handed over to him. Now, if a bigger political party, he wants to represent that big political party, he would have to face the bigger guys, like for example, Rotimi Amechi or Atiku Abubakar. Can he defeat Rotimi Amechi or Atiku Abubakar in the ADC? Or is the Labour Party, as it stands right now, are they willing to give him the ticket? Because we hear that some of them are not willing to give him the ticket. So beautiful proposition, but the platform now is the major problem that I'm saying. And the North will look at it from that prism and say, look, does it stand a chance? But look at Atiku Abubakar to also pitch in a 1 term. Can he be trusted? Can the Northerners agree? Is it not easier for them to go with Bola Tinubu and be sure that in 2031 they will get it back than for them to go with an Atiku Abubakar that they are not sure? And then, of course, it will affect the geopolitics of the Nigerian polity. So it's left for Nigerians to decide.